here's a question I get all the time from clients who are looking to buy investment property. Should I be looking for a cash flow property, or should I be looking for a property that has capital appreciation? Well, to answer your question, it depends. But to get into that, let's first understand the differences between the types of properties. So cash flow property means a property that once you pay out your expenses of holding the property, so your property taxes, your mortgage payments, insurance, things like that, and you subtract the income that you get, whether it's from rental, Airbnb, short-term rentals, things like that, you end up with a positive net after that. So essentially, the revenue minus expenses, and you come up with a positive number. So that means you cash flow. In this case, it would be a monthly basis. And then a property with capital appreciation is a property that tends to go up in value on an annualized basis. So that's the simple explanation. Okay, so of course, in an ideal situation, you want property that both cash flows and has also appreciation. The issue is there's different types of markets. For example, like the Greater Vancouver area or probably Greater Toronto area do have properties that tend to appreciate a bit more, but in terms of getting a cash flow, you might have to put up to 25 to 35% down as a down payment in order to be able to cash flow in this markets. So sometimes that could be something that could be a restrictive for people getting into the market. Sometimes there's different regulations from governmental regulations that limit the amount that you can charge for rent in some of these municipalities, again lowering the potential income that you can get from a rental property basis. But the flip side is some of those markets tend to appreciate on a higher basis compared to other markets, like maybe smaller rural markets that have property appreciation tends to be a bit slower on an annualized basis, but you can get a bit more cash flow on a month-to-month basis. So again, ultimately, it depends on what you want to do. If you want monthly cash flow and income, sort of immediately where you get that on a month-to-month basis, then a cash flow property would be for you. But if you are looking for a property that would have more appreciation long term and mind sort of paying, I usually call it sort of like a forced payment plan, where essentially you might be paying $100 or $200 extra a month just to hold the value and the equity in the property as that property appreciates. So again, that's another way to think about it. So again, ultimately you want a property that does both cash flows and also has a capital appreciation on an annualized basis. So again, ultimately it depends on what your goals are and what you want to do. Most important things, make sure you know your numbers, you run your numbers, and you're working with people who know what they're doing to help you analyze a property and see if that property, in terms of an investment property, is something that aligns with the goals that you have for investment. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Ace Partners, let's build your legacy.